Lawrence Robinson.
Well, good morning, and thank you for hearing from all of us, and thank you for those of you who have joined us on a decision that I think puts us on one of two different trails in this city. But my trail to this city began long ago. It began in actually my mom's small business in the district. She opened up a daycare center in Phoenix, probably something she couldn't do in most places in this nation. As a woman, as someone who came from working class means, and it was there that I decided to make it known that I would be coming into Phoenix as a resident. Her water broke 30, almost 40 years ago, really, and it was there in her small business that I was raised. It was that small business that my dad came into. Currently, at the time, he was the head of the Black Chamber of Commerce. He came in every day to check on my mom, but she didn't need to be checked upon because she knew that if she could stand on her own 2 feet with the help of her government that she paid taxes to, she could make her small business succeed. It was a lesson of standing on your own 2 feet that my mom taught me. It was a lesson I would need for so many years because as the black kid who was too light for some and too dark for others, who would later come out as a proud LGBT citizen, who would be someone who wanted to succeed in the city that he came into those years before, I recognized that all I had was those 2 feet to stand on. But I had the city as well. I had a park system, a library system. I had those around me who I joined with as friends, as colleagues, as neighbors, not because of any one of those identities, but because we were, in effect, at the same table, seeking the same opportunities to succeed. It's what draws me to your table today. It's what draws me to ask for the honor to represent everyone who's sitting out before us right now. It's not because of my identity, although I'm proud of every identity that I have. It's not because I bring forward the voices that have not been represented or that I fight for on a daily basis as a elected and non-paid school board member for the Roosevelt District. It's because of those voices that I think need to be at the table. You see, people talked about our community being poor. People talked about all of the needs and the deficits. I want to talk to you about those resources. Michelle Campuzano is a teacher of 6 years in the Roosevelt District. This year she rises on the ballot to ask for the support of our city to be a school board member. Single mother, special needs kid, white woman, she calls herself, who was raised in the hood of South Phoenix, who's putting all of that aside to fight for the one thing that matters, and it's our kids in South Phoenix. It's my friend Jason, who lives on the northern part of our district, in the block here in Garfield that probably 1 or 2 years ago we wouldn't have recognized, that now has many restaurants and shops, but 1 or 2 years ago only had the house that he now currently is renovating with the help of the city, that his dad had all but torn apart as a former drug addict. Now that house is renovated, that roof is strong over his head, and Jason lives in a block that represents the future of our city. It's the fact that my mom's dreams or Jason's of being a homeowner or mine as bringing those voices to the table can only happen in a place like ours. That's why so many of us came to Phoenix. It's why when we parse out who should be here, what identity, whose seat this is, should they run to keep it or not, doesn't matter. What matters is that all of these people who come together under the one banner as Phoenicians get the best possible leader to move forward. I've worked on the 11th floor trying to serve the needs of our homeless, our veterans, our women and small business owners. I think back to my grandmother, who was the first African-American female judge, Miss Judge Jean Williams, and how she would be proud of a Mayor Williams and a Chief of Police Williams, but how she would want to make sure that we save that seat for the next Williams, the next Robinson, the next person that can move together as a city to succeed. It's about roads, it's about water, it's about infrastructure. It's about the things that we don't see underneath this City Hall chamber that serve the platform and the foundation for us to continue to rise forward together. And the fact is as the drama of all of these decisions subside, our residents deserve the best possible person from day one who will walk up and take the oath in our new City Hall building that wasn't there just a few days before. My grandma used to walk me by the Orpheum when homeless had to reside in it. She walked me by Hanny's, which is a restaurant today that one day before I would not have been able to shop in as a person of color. But when walking by those relics and memorials, we have to think what we're walking toward together. And we didn't march up Central Avenue for a King holiday, so many of us in here, to not demand that the resources flow back down Central Avenue into our district tomorrow. And that has no color on those opportunities. It has no identity. That seat doesn't belong to anyone, but the person who occupies it must fight for everyone. They must fight in the most bland sense. They must fight for the resources and opportunities that you'll never see, but that grant us the opportunity that my mom gave us, that my grandmother had, and that I'm asking to give me today so I can represent all of those opportunities moving forward.
Thank you. Councilwoman?
What is your position on removing the city manager from office?
You know, I having sat on a elected body that often has a lot of parlor intrigue, know that the real decisions about what information to make that decision upon are being shared behind closed doors. I look forward, after taking that oath, to having the conversation with as many folks to not violate open meeting law as possible, so I can make the informed decision that best represents District 8. Right now, I know as much as the rest of us out here do, and I don't think that's enough to make that decision.
Okay. What is your position on South Central Light Rail project as well as the future of high-capacity transit?
Transit connects people to opportunities. We fought for those opportunities in the south side of this district, and so I 100% support the will of the voters. But I will say, the potholes and roads that will continue to let the rest of us drive upon them are also needing to be filled. So it's about a compromise. We need to make sure that roads and other modes of transportation are taken care of in the district and in every district in the city, while concurrently we build the routes for tomorrow and for everyone else to have those options as well.
And then the final, have you applied to be a precinct committee man or committee man?
Long ago. Precinct committee people, for those of you who don't know, are elected positions within the party apparatus. I started out thinking that was the way. I've really moved forward and will probably never run for an office that has a DR or I at the end of it, because I think at the end of the day, if we don't start in neighborhoods beyond political party, then we have nothing. So it's not even on the horizon. It's not something I am a PC today. I want to represent people beyond their parties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.